For today's video, we are back on TierMaker doing the #1 overall draft pick since 2000 tier list rankings. Now, obviously, this is the series finale, and yes, I am skipping over the number 10 picks because that's kind of a dead spot in the draft, and I feel like most players in that video, with the exception of a couple, would be like down in these tiers, and I feel like it would kind of just be a boring video, so I'm just going to conclude the series today with the #1 overall draft picks. This was definitely a very fun series. While I am excited to do this video, I'm kind of upset that it is coming to an end because you guys really seem to enjoy it as well. So make sure to let me know down in the comment section below if there's any other type of series that you guys want to see me start. I'm always open to hearing your guys' ideas, and without wasting any more time, let's jump right into this video, starting off with Rick DiPietro. Now, Rick DiPietro is a tough one because I feel like a lot of people will kind of be teetering in between disappointing and flat out bust and not really anything else. I think for me, I'm going to put him at flat out bust because when you draft a goaltender with the #1 overall draft pick, you expect them to come in and be franchise changing. Rick DiPietro was definitely franchise changing, but not really in the good way. He was obviously given that massive, ridiculous contract, and things really just didn't work out for him. So I'm going to put him at the flat out bust category. Next up, we have Ilya Kovalchuk. Now, depending on how you look at it, this could be a difficult one for some. I'm going to put him as a top line contributor because in his prime, I definitely think he was a superstar, at least offensively. Obviously, he was an amazing goal scorer, but then we missed out on a lot of his prime because he went over to the KHL, and now obviously he is back in the NHL with the LA Kings, and I feel like now he's just kind of like a solid, good player offensively, definitely not the all-around player that he once was, so I'm going to put him in between what he was in his prime, in my opinion, which was a superstar, and what he is now, and that it's just good, so I'm going to put him at the top line contributor spot. And next up, we have Rick Nash, and Rick Nash I'm also going to put as a top line contributor, and he's yet another guy you definitely could make the argument that when he was in Columbus, he was a superstar. Obviously, he was the face of that franchise, had some amazing seasons there, but I feel like for the most part, based off his entire career, he is a top line contributor. Obviously, he is now retired, no longer in the NHL, so shout out to him for a really fantastic career, and I'm going to put him at the top line contributor spot. And next up, we have MarcAndre Fleury. Now, I'm honestly not quite sure how to gauge this because top line contributor, that's more so for like forwards and defensemen. I don't really know what a goaltender would be classified as, and you definitely could make the argument he was a superstar, but I feel like he was never really recognized as like the best goaltender in the NHL, so I'm actually going to put him as a top line contributor, usually like a top 5 to top 7 goaltender, but not really like the best. He's never won a Vezina trophy, but he has had some fantastic seasons, obviously winning Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh, and is still one of the better goalies in the league with Vegas, so I'm going to keep him there. Might change things up a little bit after I'm done this, but for right now, I'm going to put him as a top line contributor. Moving along, Alexander Ovechkin, 100% a Hall of Fame talent. He's off to another great start this season. It's looking like he's going to have another fantastic year, and the guy, like Sidney Crosby, who I'm also going to put up here, they're both aging like fine wine, and it really is cool to see how dominant they have been over the course of their entire career, and how big of an impact they still have on their team's success. They're both fantastic, and 100% without a doubt, both as first ballot Hall of Famers. And next up, we have Erik Johnson. And Erik Johnson I'm going to put at good. Yes, maybe a little bit disappointing because with that #1 overall draft pick, you usually expect the player to become a superstar. But for the most part of his career, I definitely think he was a good, steady, solid defenseman for Colorado. So I'm going to keep him there. Next up, we have Patrick Kane, and I'm also going to put him in the Hall of Fame talent category. He's won numerous Stanley Cups with the Chicago Blackhawks. He was a member of the NHL's 100 Greatest Players list, and well-deserved. Patrick Kane has been amazing for the Blackhawks ever since coming into the league. And obviously, to go along with his individual success, a lot of team success with that stacked Chicago team throughout the 2010s. Next up, we have Steven Stamkos, and I'm going to put him at the superstar category. Ever since coming into the league, really, he has been one of the best players in the NHL, but I'm not quite sure if people look at him as like a potential Hall of Fame talent. Obviously, he still has a lot left to give. He's still very much so in his prime and playing on that stacked Tampa Bay team, and if they win a couple of Stanley Cups, then he continues to have very good regular seasons, then I definitely think by the end of his career, he could be up there with the likes of Kane, Crosby, and Ovechkin. But for right now, I'm going to play it safe and put Stammer at the superstar category. And next up, we have John Tavares. And like Steven Stamkos, I feel like it's kind of the same thing. I'm going to put him at superstar. And obviously, he's still very much so in his prime and on a very good young Toronto Maple Leafs team. And he has a lot of time left in his career to stack up the accolades. And he very well could be, regarded as a Hall of Fame talent by the end of his career. But for right now, I'm going to put him and Stamkos in the superstar category. Next up, we have Taylor Hall. And Taylor Hall, I'm also going to put in the superstar category. He is yet another guy who definitely, by the end of his career, potentially could be regarded as a Hall of Fame talent. He does have a Hart Trophy on his resume. His future is kind of up in the air. No one really knows what's going to happen, if he's going to re-sign with New Jersey, or if their season continues to slide a little bit and things don't go as planned, then maybe he will want to test his luck in free agency. And if that's the case, I definitely think we're going to have a lot of teams throwing a lot of money at Taylor Hall. But he is one of the best wingers in the NHL, and 100% he is, in my book, a superstar caliber player. Moving along, now we have Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and I'm kind of teetering in between top line contributor and good. I'm going to put him here for now because he has gotten off to a little bit of a slow start this year compared to the great season that he had last year, and maybe even some people could consider him disappointing with that number 1 overall pick because, like I said with Erik Johnson, you expect these players to come in and be superstars, and while Ryan Nugent Hopkins hasn't been a superstar, he still has been a very steady and very good NHL player for that Edmonton team. So I'm going to put him at good for now, but he's a guy I might change up a little bit later. Next up, we have now Yakupov, and I'm sure everybody knows he is a flat-out bust. It is unfortunate. His time in the NHL is most likely at an end. I don't think anyone's really going to give him a shot to come back, and he's just a guy that's probably going to play in the KHL for the rest of his professional career. A guy with tons of talent, but it really just didn't work out at the NHL level. And next up, we have Nathan MacKinnon, and Nathan MacKinnon is 100% a superstar and is obviously very, very young. I think he has the potential to win a couple of Hart trophies. He is another guy on a very good young team, and is kind of the face of that franchise, and by the end of his career, I think he will be regarded as potentially a Hall of Fame talent. Moving along, now we have Aaron Ekblad for the Florida Panthers. I'm kind of teetering in between top line contributor and good. I'm going to put him at good for now, but this is one I'll probably change once I put a little bit more thought into it after I'm done putting everyone in their tiers and kind of revise it. But Aaron Ekblad is another guy, maybe disappointing with that number 1 overall pick. He has had some injury issues here and there, but we're still waiting for him to have that really big breakout season, and maybe it'll never come. Who knows? Maybe it will, though. But even if it doesn't, he is a good defenseman still, so I'm going to put him in the good category. Obviously, Connor McDavid, I think already is a Hall of Fame talent. If he were to retire right now, he obviously wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't really think anyone can argue that if he continues on the course that he's on right now, he will 100% be a first ballot Hall of Famer when his career does come to an end. Him and Draisaitl are off to a fantastic season individually, and luckily for them, they are having some team success as well, which is a very good thing to see for an Edmonton team that definitely needed it after, the really disappointing last couple of years that they've had. Moving along, now we have Austin Matthews. He's yet another player I'm 100% going to put in the superstar category. There has been a lot of people saying, like a lot of guys within the media, that Austin Matthews isn't one of the best players in the NHL. Personally, I think he is, and it's really just been a matter of him staying healthy, and luckily so far this season, he has stayed healthy, is putting up decent numbers, but I still think so far this season the best is yet to come for Matthews, and this Toronto team is slowly starting to pick up their game a little bit here over the past couple of games. He just had a really good game last night against the LA Kings, a goal and an assist for Matthews. My fantasy team loved that, but 100% I think he is up here with the likes of Stammer, Tavares, Hall, and MacKinnon. Moving along, now we have Nico Hischier. Nico Hischier. This is a difficult one because he is still a very young player, has only had, 2 seasons in the NHL and a little bit of this season. I honestly want to put him at too soon to judge because we don't really know. But for right now, I'm going to put him at good because he is a good NHL player already at such a young age, and obviously there is so much room to improve for Nico Hischier, and I 100% think by the end of this season, even maybe he will be up here as like a top-line contributor. But for right now, I'm going to put Nico at the good category, but I might change him up a little bit later. And now finishing out the video with Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm honestly kind of leaning towards too soon to judge because obviously he has only played like one full NHL season and about a month of this year. But he already does look like a superstar caliber defenseman. He's gotten off to an amazing start to the season, but I don't want to jump the gun too early and hype him up a little bit too much. But so far this season, I think he has been like a top line contributor at least, but I don't know, this one's kind of difficult. I'm just going to throw him at too soon to judge because we really don't know. It's been a small sample size for Dahlin, but he definitely looks like a guy who could be up here by the end of his career. But for right now, we're going to put him at too soon to judge. So that is how my tier list ranking looks so far for the number 1 overall overall draft picks. I'm going to look it over, see if I want to make any changes, and I'll be right back. So I think I'm going to keep it like this. I know a lot of people may think that maybe Nugent should be up there or Nico Hischier, but I don't want to put them with the likes of these guys just yet, because obviously these guys have all had very, very good careers, and Nico and Nugent have yet to have really, massive breakout seasons, and same goes for Ekblad. And yeah, Dahlin at too soon to judge is just because he hasn't played a lot of years in the NHL just yet. So that's what my number 1 overall draft picks ranking looks like. I will link this down below in the description so you guys can make your own, and then if you want, you can take a picture of it and tweet at me if you'd like. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support on this series. It was definitely a lot of fun to do. So that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for all the support on these videos, all the way from the number 2 to the number 9 picks, and now hopefully you guys show some support on this one. And like I said earlier, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below if there's any type of series that you would be interested in seeing. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content, and I will see you guys all in the next video.